Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. Jasper Winabo, the thrash metal guru here. I was actually just on here a couple of minutes ago. I was trying to actually make another video and all that crap. But, I can understand I haven't been on for about 3 to 4 days to making a serious video when it comes to certain issues. I'm not going to explain what these are, but I saw a website last night. Although the website was sent to me 2 years ago, not 2 years, I'm sorry, 2 days ago. From a certain user known as Danny the Metalhead, which I've looked over this website, and I'm really kind of scratching my head at this because, I don't really care if you hate a band or dislike a band. I also made a video about, we shouldn't really count out bands because they sound different. It's really kind of bullshit to say that they're fake because they're different than us. You may not like the band. I may not like certain bands like, Bring Me the Horizon or certain other bands, but does that mean I'm going to conclude that they shouldn't be a part of the metal scene? No. But when I was looking also on this website, it was basically featured on Metallica, and this person who probably wrote this explained the 10 reasons why Metallica should just put up their instruments and walk away from their own career. They should just call it a day. Here's my opinion on this. Bullshit. Because I'm not like all Metallica fanboys. I am a fanboy of Metallica. I am a diehard, Metallica fanboy for the rest of my life. But I'm a lot different as many others would because I'm okay with the fact if you dislike or hate something, that's completely fine. I have no objection to it. But when you actually state something as objective rather than the sense of your opinion being subjective, that oh God, they sell out and they actually done some other stuff. Let me just do one thing real quick. Sorry about that. I just left something hanging. But let me just get right back onto that. But anyways, the 10 reasons that I saw was actually because the certain reasons that really kind of just flowed into my head seems, really? And their first reason was Napster. The issue between Lars Ulrich and 60,000 users and the Napster ordeal was happening all together, which turned into bedlam between the fans and the situation with Metallica at the time when they were making their album Saint Anger, which I will get to here in a minute. The problem with this was also that people were enraged and they were throwing and crashing and burning and breaking CDs because they couldn't download music for free. But let me give you a little fucking hint on that part. As much as I really don't like the way that money does things to people, that money is what drives everything, I do have to agree, without money, the system itself, or whatever things, cannot be reached without the certain point of money. Money is what actually remixes the album. Money is what actually helps with providing any materials for the sound. Actually, what pays for the recording, what pays for the equipment, and all that certain thing. Now, people make the videos about Lars Ulrich and saying, "Oh, because he got money," and people making memes about it. That's their deal. That's fine. But really, are we still going to stumble onto something that happened many years ago? And also, we're going to go into the Black Album part, which everyone's making a big fucking deal about, because they decided to change their sound up. Now, let's make it somewhat clear. Why is it that when Metallica changes their sound up, because it doesn't sound like Master of Puppets or Ride the Lightning or Kill 'Em All like it should have? Well, the thing about it is, if you're going to take a risk, if you're going to actually reach something, into a higher stance, sometimes you have to take a risk when doing these certain things. They took the risk and changed their sound over to something more mainstream. Now, basically, to the part, people are also arguing Cliff Burton wouldn't allow any of those songs from this album or the album itself to actually come out. However, though, Cliff Burton, I think, would have at least allowed maybe one song, maybe even at least 2 to 3 of them, because from what I'm hearing, they're still pretty fast-paced. I will say that myself. Maybe Nothing Else Matters, Holier Than Thou, and, what's another one I can think? A lot of people may hate the song now, Enter Sandman. You still had slower-paced songs like For Whom the Bell Tolls when it was actually featured on Ride the Lightning, and then you had a ballad on the Ride the Lightning album called Fade of Black Love. But a lot of people are like, oh my gosh, so oh my god. Really, I just think we're just nitpicking for all this certain shit to go on. But it gets even more deeper than that. Let's also go into the fact that this person actually made a point that some kind of monster documentary was out, and it's like, oh gosh, I mean, this person was arguing like they couldn't express their feelings over something. Now let's take a little bit of an instance here. Jason Newsted leaves the band. James Hetfield goes through some alcohol addiction problems. He's trying to be a good father and a good husband. Kirk and Lars are kind of, just almost torn to bits, and the band's fighting and all that, and everything is torn to shreds. Which also brings me to the Saint Anger album everyone's arguing. Yes, I can agree. Maybe the album was not good, but in the ways from what I've actually heard from the band is that it's just something they needed to just give out. Otherwise, the future of Metallica would what's the best way to describe it? The future of Metallica would have been sucking all the way to the blackened abyss under the sea, dude. So it's something that I had to let out. And so when I'm looking back at this, it's like saying, okay, so a band's not allowed to express their feelings over something? I mean, really? And of course everyone is talking about the bass curse, and that when Cliff Burton died, the music of Metallica keeps going to shit and shit and shit and shit and shit. Even when Jason and Robert were in there, no one cares about that certain point. That's not even evidence. That is based upon subjectivity right there, which is based upon the other things that they've said as well. Now, maybe to an extent I can agree with the Saint Anger kind of thing, but also to another extent where I can also say that they had issues at the time, so it was more of a blues thing. More where the album was describing the certain things that they were going through currently at the time when Jason Newsted left the band. Also, Death Magnetic people are arguing about, so what more could you want? I mean, what more do you want? They improved from the Saint Anger album to the Death Magnetic album. Now, I can understand for people who do not like them, but I'm just saying, if you're going to base that off of something that is objective, then please provide certain evidence for that sort of thing. Now, a lot of people do argue, oh, the snare sounds too loud and all that, but let's look back over in Saint Anger. It was completely flat. You couldn't hear the actual power to it. But all of a sudden now people are saying it's too fucking loud. So, what? It's not good enough because it sounds too, bluesy. Now it's not too good because it sounds too loud. It's just fucking mind-blowing, but in the sense of what the fuck are these guys thinking? And by guys, I mean like the entire fan base. But I'm not saying the entire fan base because that's generalizations. But another thing I can also argue is that Load and Reload, oh gosh, because it didn't sound just like, at least towards the Black Album, it didn't sound thrashy, it was so different. Well, I mean, come on, what do you expect from people? If a band wants to do something their way, they will do it their way, not because a fan tells them to. It's like, no, you gotta go back to the thrash stuff. Now, as much as I like to see Metallica do some thrash stuff again, which they had done some certain thrash music with Cyanide, My Apocalypse, which people may not like, but still, at least they're doing something. They're actually at least combining the two. Maybe a little bit of mainstream, a little bit of maybe some blues parts in it, maybe even some thrash and everything else together with that. And a lot of people are also arguing, or the certain person that was arguing, that Through the Never was a big ego strike. Now, I could say a little bit that the story didn't make sense to my opinion, but on the other side of it, I still love the movie because it was the music the most importantly and the most essentially parts of that video was what really drove me. It's what gave me the adrenaline and just made me want to rock out to it. What's at least one more I can just say? I don't know. Oh, yes, I did forget the S&M album. This is not really on the website, but this is from a lot of people's perspective, saying that it's mediocre, that Metallica and those type of instruments with the orchestra do not mix in together, that it's completely horse crap. Well, if I can fucking remember, who is one person that actually loved the classical Southern blues and all that, even blues itself, or Southern rock too as well? Cliff fucking Burton. So to tell me that Metallica and the orchestra does not mix in together, it's completely mediocre. Let's take a look though. Cliff Burton's songs of Call of the Cthulhu, For Whom the Bell Tolls, I mean, those were featured in there as well, and not to mention there was 2 original songs to it that were in the S&M album, which was Minus Human and also No Leaf Clover. It was two songs that were supposed to be either on the Load or Reload album, which was originally going to be the Reloaded, but that's basically as far as it stands there. So that's just the way I'm just going to end things up here, and that's just my, my sense on it, my kind of thought. I'm running out of room and all that, but I will actually link that description right down below about the website. The S&M one was basically one that I've usually seen before on YouTube, so the website itself is actually just gonna be separate from that one. So, website's down below. I will catch you guys later. Josh Winabo, the Thrash Metal Guru here. Now, I'm just gonna, before I go here, I want to say that these are only my opinions and that it's completely subjective, because within the website it says that it's based upon evidence that they are sellouts and all that. But before I say anything further and go, I'd just like to say I'm still going to love Metallica no matter what, whether they did or did not sell out, because the important thing is, and also essentially to this point, is the music and those who make the music. Don't get me started on the one video, because I don't think in any way that was even selling out, because MTV refused to play their video, and they just that video was, I can also say in the words of Coyote, or whatever his name is, which I also have to thank for making the video, it was a big middle finger to that part of MTV, because they are a bunch of mediocre assholes. Subjective, by the way. But anyways, that's just my 2 cents there. So I will catch you guys later. So if any of you guys are fans of Metallica themselves and find what I say offensive, I'm completely sorry, but I'm just basing my opinion. So catch you guys later.